Deonda, hello. What are you doing up this early? Dickerdoodle, hello. How are you? Just trying to get things set up here. Doing as hell if I know. Oh. Good, and you, Les? I'm doing good. No complaints yet. I need to get some clarity. I tell you what, this weather, cold, warm, cold, warm, cold, warm. It's about to do me in. For real, for real. Messing with my asthma bad, says Deonda. Well, it's messing with my sinuses bad. It just won't stop trickling. Not at all. Listen, if a few more people come in, I was going to get an update of what's going on in the world. A few things have changed overnight. It's nice and sunny. Snicker says, sure has. Well, I don't know if you guys know, but you know, I keep up with stuff. Snicker said it's beautiful outside. It is. Few things have changed. And it looks like now nobody has called the election yet or anything like that, but it looks like Biden may be making an announcement. Him and Trump both are set to make an announcement this evening. And Biden, he's had this stage, huge monitor and everything all set and ready to go for a couple days. And he's going to be coming out on that. And I think he's going to try to claim the president-elect. Although nothing's been called, nothing's been finalized. But overnight, Biden did overtake Trump in Georgia, albeit only 1,500 votes. Point is, he came up from behind and just slid right past him. And he slid past Biden slid past Trump in Pennsylvania, and I think that's by about 12,000 votes. And there is something like a little less than 140,000 votes left to count in Pennsylvania. But they've been coming in 2-1 in favor of Biden. So, but I do know there has been other television stations, who has said that Trump has won Arizona, which is not the truth. It's not the case. Arizona won't know until Sunday. So, but there have been stations that have called him, and no, no. So because of that, um, Trump has, I think he's strong armed, but the chairman of the Republican National Committee um, has sent out, Barbara Schultz, hello, has sent out people to 4 different states, one of them being Michigan, Arizona, and I don't know what the other, one Pennsylvania, and I think Georgia. I think we honestly won't know till the end of the month. Well, believe it or not, an election is never really truly verified until December. Be honest with you. I think it's around the second week of December is when an election is actually verified. You know, the thing what they do is, whoever has the most votes wins, and that's what we go by. And most generally, that's the way it is. Whoever has the most electoral votes wins the election. So honestly, an election really isn't decided and verified and set in stone until about the second week of December. So, but I do know that I think it is Arizona. Either Arizona or Nevada, they can have military votes come in up till November 12th. Which, historically, the military vote has always went Republican. The problem is that Trump has dissed the soldiers in the military and those who have been captured and things like that. And that has pissed a lot of military personnel off. So some of them may not go his way. But I don't know, and they don't know how many military votes are coming in to each state. So we don't know if there would be, if every single military vote was a Republican, which, let's face it, I don't think this year is going to happen at all. But if it is, if there's enough votes to overturn whatever has been already decided, we'll see. But I know that the RNC chairwoman has sent out teams to 4 different states to file lawsuits, and she was starting to give a list of what they were suing for, and it's the same shit all over again. And I'm like, it was already addressed once. They're saying voter fraud, and that some lady told him that worked there. Some lady told him that was counting up that they found 2,000 votes, and they gave it to the Democrats when they were marked Republican. Okay, Doc, hello. Les, I'm filing a lawsuit against Walmart for the hysterical pregnancy. That's all right. You remember when that lady sued, or the guy sued, that popcorn, um, because he ate so much popcorn for like 20 years, he got cancer. And I said, hell, if that's the case, I'm suing Hershey's. I mean, So, but it does look like that Biden has picked up some votes. Eesh, popcorn. I love popcorn. No, it wasn't Orville Redenbacher. It was I forget which one it was. It was years ago. It was years ago, like 12, 13 years ago, something like that. Oh, when was it? Maybe that long. Maybe even shorter than that. I can't remember the popcorn company, but he ate microwave popcorn every day. Every day. Todd B, hello. So I said, hell, I'm going to sue Hershey's. So anyway, it does look like Biden did slide with some votes. He did advance. I know Georgia's at 99%. Will definitely, from what I understand, from what the Secretary of State said yesterday in Georgia, that they would definitely know today. Les, there was a Democratic poll watcher claiming they wouldn't let him within 70 feet of the counters. What are your thoughts? That's a lie. Todd B, Les for PREZ. That's right. Sarah says, hey, you're back. I told you I'd be back today. Some things, have gone on overnight and stuff. There has been no Democratic poll watcher that has said that. What it is that they had like a not a barricade, but like a thing you stand behind that was 10 feet behind the poll workers. Okay? And the Republicans are the ones that went to court for it and said that they had to stay that many feet back or outside and wouldn't let them look in, and they would put paper up on the windows and stuff. Come to find out, that was not the truth whatsoever. What they wanted was to get closer, and the judge and even the Secretary of State said, okay, just wear a mask. You can get up to 6 feet. I heard that the Secret Service is clearing the airspace over Biden's location. I don't know. He was on video at convention center saying it, and I don't believe it was a Democrat saying it, is what I'm saying, Doc. Just like yesterday, you were saying something about, they paused, Georgia, they paused during counting. Well, you've neglected to say that there was a pipe that busted at the stadium, and that the workers stayed over, and there was a whole bunch of Republicans there watching. So I don't believe some of that shit. I really don't. I really, really don't. Not when everything's on video to begin with. You guys forget that fact. You can stream into any of those polling stations. It's on video, the whole thing. I was referring to the pause that occurred at Pennsylvania, where the authorities were quoted saying they weren't sure as to why it was. And like I said, I can care less if they take a break. Those people are working their asses off, and they're volunteers. I can care less. Maybe, like I said, maybe they wanted to double check something. Maybe there was something wrong with some of the machines. So, Barbara said that is fake news. Anna said CBS News is false reporting. Hi, everyone. Hi, Anna. Yeah, they're not really false. Yeah, I guess they would be false because they're. I said earlier before a lot of people were in here that there were stations that were declaring states for Biden when it's not true. Sarah said the counties here weren't volunteers. Our county paid $13.66 an hour. See, I know in Pennsylvania, most of them are volunteers. You know, they may have hired people from a temp agency. I actually did that through Manpower in the late 80s. Yeah, you know, I know the ones that work here in my town are all volunteers. All of them. So, and those in Pennsylvania, and I'm not sure about Georgia though. I've already said they were volunteers. I didn't count balance, but a group of us did tabulate results on a state-of-the-art Apple something. Anna said NBC and ABC News are better in my opinion. ABC isn't calling nothing until it's flat out in your face. Because anything can happen. Anything can happen. They're all on the same team, Anna, owned by all the same people. Pronounced 2E. Oh. Okay, Apple 2E. Never did like Apple and didn't even have Macintosh, nothing. If that's the case, Doc, then, you know, CBS would be in with them, and they're calling it, and they really shouldn't be. They really shouldn't be. So, but I do think it's funny that the RNC chairwoman is sending these people out, and I'm sitting there thinking, you know, Trump and his goonies got to her, because she's sending these people out trying to file lawsuits over the same thing they've already filed lawsuits over, and it was thrown out. CNN is being more generous than Fox on some of the calling. Dale B says, "Hey Les fam, hey Dale. CBS is being crazy though." Dale B, "Hey Sarah and Shady, y'all get some sleep." D-bag, Secret Service calling. Oh, thank God for. I thought the robocalls would end, but it hasn't. Now they're gone to car insurance and shit. I'm like, if you want to speak to me, be a freaking human, not a robot. For real. So, Trump and Biden are speaking tonight. I think Biden is wanting to speak at 8, but they don't know when Trump's going to go and speak. They don't know if he's going to do preemptive or respond to whatever Biden says. Hi Connie, yep, my friend Mimi. Eggplant parmesan, so yum. I can't wait until you do some phone scamming live streams, Les. Dale says that is good fun. Yeah. Barbara, oh yeah, Giuliani and another GOP leader stated ballots were falsified in Georgia, and when asked to show proof, they just walked away. I know, that is so funny. They can't prove nothing. There's no proof of any colluding. I mean, they are right on it. Not to mention, Giuliani needs to get new dentures. You don't know how bad I want to write him and say, dude, as much money as you're worth and you can't get dentures that fit better than that. Sarah said, I read about a guy who was doing phone banking and a man answered the phone and said, I already voted for Biden, but I answered this call from an unfamiliar number. Dale said, yummy shade, what a great friend. Because I thought you might be able to help me with my car's extended warranty. Oh my god. Oh god, that's funny. Sarah says Steve Bannon was banned from Twitter for calling for the deaths of Dr. Fauci and the FBI director. And believe it or not, they're looking into him. He is now being investigated. He truly is. Steve Bannon should have kept his mouth shut. Dale, he is such an embarrassment. Hey, Snicker, says Dale. Dale says, right, Sarah, he called for their heads on a spike. Man, new dentures laughing. I mean, have you ever seen him talk? Giuliani, really? I am waiting for his uppers to come flying out at any minute when he talks. For real. I just want to write. Tell Rudy to get new dentures. But yeah, Steve Bannon stepped in at this time. He has a speech impediment anyway. Yeah, I know. I mean, I remember him from years ago. He needs new dentures. That's the only thing I gotta say. I think he's a washed-up alcoholic from the country. Who, Steve Bannon? Doc says, that's ludicrous to me. How many have called for Trump's death? Did Wheeler's death, Ted Wheeler's death, etc., and they don't get so much as a knock on the door. Oh, but you say anything against Trump and them? Yup. DLB said mayor to this. Sarah said Kathy Griffin rightfully got in trouble for posting that picture of Trump's severed head. I thought that was funny. I'm sorry, you guys. I did. I saw the humor in it. But this is what cracks me up. It's like they pick and choose who they want to go after. Because I agree with Doc. Do you know Wesley Snipes, Madonna? There was a lot of stars who called for killing and blowing up the White House and killing Trump, and not a thing was done to him. But Kathy Griffin does that, and her life is ruined forever. I mean, come on. Dale says, Doc, come on. How about Ted Nugent posting with an AK-47 over and over again for Obama? Sarah said, I don't think she's funny anyway. I do. I did. I like her. Calling Obama's wife a monkey and a man. I know. Doc said the FBI is a joke. It needs reformed. I'm like Doc. I love a good conspiracy theory. But I don't think everything is a conspiracy. Now, do I think everything is on the up and up? Hell no, I'm not stupid. I don't think everything is a conspiracy. Those protesters actually chained themselves to the lobby of Ted Wheeler's apartment and wouldn't leave until they got a hold of him. And they all walked. DLB, yep, a lot of reformations need to be done, and Biden will start the ball rolling. He can only do so much in 4 years. I mean, and especially if he has opposition. But one thing Biden has always been good at, always, has been reaching across the aisle and bringing them together. He's always been good at that. Can't take that away from him. Although I do think he's creepy. He doesn't need to be smelling little girls' hair. That's just creepy. So, and I can say this stuff because I didn't vote for Biden either. I didn't vote for either one of them. He's good at signing off on drone strikes. Well, if you think the U.S. is the only one that uses drones, Doc, you've got another thing coming. Anna says depends on Senate. Yeah. DLC, let's not forget about threatening Gretchen Whitmer And Donald saying nothing about it. Exactly. Exactly. Snickerdoodle says, I agree, Les. Or let's not say anything about Donald Trump firing up the Proud Boys, the white supremacist groups. So let's not say anything about that. Dale said Donald is good at doing nothing about the deaths of over 230,000 Americans. D-Bag says, and don't sit here and act like Elvis didn't kill JFK, Les. Oh. Speaking of which, this was so funny to me. I'm watching a news program and this guy is in Las Vegas and he's by the sign where it says "Welcome to Las Vegas" is behind him and there's people all around and he's just a talking away and here comes Elvis. He comes behind him, but Elvis is on an electric scooter. And then a few minutes later he goes back. I was rolling. I was like, Elvis is on an electric scooter. That's how old he is now. Doc says, Dale, 3% of those numbers were actually COVID related, and that's the CDC claiming that. No, this is what it is. All of them had an underlying condition. But COVID is what sparked them going into the hospital and aggravated those conditions. So don't act like COVID has nothing to do with all these deaths like that. Come on. You need to do a little more research, Doc. He has not mentioned this virus since the election, and he stated that the Dems would stop mentioning it the day after the election. But he has been the one who has not mentioned one word about it. Yeah. Well, he was sick of hearing it himself. He don't want anything to do with it. He don't want responsibility. Doc drank too much Donny juice. Dale said, Doc, I didn't buy into that bull crap. This is a pandemic and there are 230,000 people have died. Yes, sadly, Barbara. Honestly, they all had COVID. They may have, just like I can contract COVID. I may not die exactly from COVID. I may die from my heart or kidneys or whatever because I have that underlying problem. But it was COVID that started it. I don't buy into the media and others BS about COVID either, Dale. Well, neither do I, Doc. I know too many people in the medical field. Too many. My aunt had COVID, no pre-existing conditions. You don't have to have pre-existing conditions to have COVID. But those with pre-existing conditions that have died with COVID, yeah, they died because of COVID. It's just like me. I have quite a few pre-existing conditions. If I get COVID, I will not survive it. Because of my pre-existing conditions, it would just deplete me. Dale says, but it was due to COVID. There is a specific way that doctors have to fill out a death certificate. I've typed hundreds of them. And I know too many people in the medical field that deal with it every day. Mostly nurses. So I may have died from like a heart attack, but it was me contracting COVID that started it. That's what we're saying, Doc. And I'm sick and tired of hearing people say, no, there really isn't a pandemic. Look, this isn't just going on in the United States. This is going on all over the world. Are you telling me everybody in the world is in cahoots with this farce? Really? I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. I mean, I'm not sick and tired of hearing about COVID, but I'm sick and tired of people saying it's false. When there has been a very good friend of mine and two family members that have passed away because of COVID. And I've had 5 others infected with COVID. So that stuff pisses me off. I'm not saying there isn't a pandemic. You're straw manning. I ain't straw manning you nothing. Me by saying that. I'm saying that there is a lot in the media that is being purported about it that simply is not true. And you became the doctor when? I ain't going by what's in the media. I'm going on by what's in my family alone. And it said, that is my point. COVID does not discriminate. Deanna says, tell my cousin it's false. He died from it. Snigger said, it's real. People better start taking it seriously. Now, I like Doc. But, like I said, I've had 2 family members die, a good friend die, 5 other families members infected with it. So don't tell me. Doc says, I'm saying my argument here is being misrepresented. All right, I'll listen. I think that a lot of the practices regarding the pandemic aren't as useful or true as they are claiming. I've had family who has gotten it. Okay. So you think social distancing and wearing masks? Well, you guys, I do understand Doc with the mask thing. Now that I understand because of his underlying condition. You know, I understand Doc with the mask thing. I really do. So I'm not gonna grill him on that or nothing. But just don't tell me it's not a problem. Sticker says I've had several friends with it. One is on oxygen 24/7 due to it now. See, we just don't know the long-lasting effects. Dale said, and that is what scared me about Donald. No plan moving forward other than to wait on a vaccine. 2 trials have been put on hold, and the therapeutics are not as effective as they thought it would be. Doc said, like I said, if you look at places like France, where they are really tough about lockdown and mask wearing, their cases are still skyrocketing. That's because they opened up. They haven't been on lockdown this whole time. Now they're starting to lock down again. But they opened back up. Anna said, yep, it is so sad. Pray my Uncle Phil gets out of the hospital today. Aw, Uncle Phil. Sarah said, I'm off to have my annual mammogram. So talk to you later, everyone. I hope to get good news in more ways than one. Yes. Good luck on your mammogram, Sarah. Yes, good news all around. I don't think our government handled it well. I don't think anybody knew at the beginning how to handle it. I feel sorry for the young mother and wife who went to the hospital in early April for COVID and woke up months later with a double lung transplant because of it. Damn. Lucky that she was able to be helped. Anna said, good news, Sarah. Barbara says, mask is a safety precaution. If it did not work, many people going to parties, etc., are infecting others at events. Just the other day, 25 people were at a party unmasked, and guess what? They all got COVID. See, if you were able, I wear a mask. You know, Dale said the Obama administration left a step-by-step instruction manual on how to handle it, but this administration failed to use it. Hell, they threw it away. Snickerdoodle, I think Trump has severely brainwashed people thinking, oh, look at me, I was over it in a week. I don't think he had it. I feel great. Then bad-mouthing the people who deal with disease such as this, it makes me angry. I don't think he had it. I really don't. There is no safe plan for COVID, and I really don't believe ever will be. This is something we have never experienced before, and it is constantly changing. The masks and distancing are a buffer. The masks have been proven to work. And distancing is even better. Barbara says, I do as well. Dump never met with Obama for the transition. Barbara Schultz says, AM. Amen. The masks do work. Now, there are some people who cannot wear a mask. Doc is one of them. It's not because of his lung issues. He has none. People who say it, and you can tell there is nothing wrong with them. You know. But it's a sensory thing. And I get that. I do get it. I get it. I don't think he had it either, and if he did, he received something we don't know about. He couldn't say what he got. This is about that is about as conspiracy theory as I get. Maybe he went in and had something done to his heart. Well, you know, and then Melania and his son, you know. Doc says they do work to the extent that they do, but in the cities they are rendered useless because social distancing cannot be maintained in that kind of environment. It's impossible. But they do work in a crowd. Like I said, I can sit there, be stark naked, pee. When that pee hits the ground, the droplets are going to go and it can fly up to 6 feet. Even when you flush your damn toilet. That's why you should always flush your toilet lid, kids. So even when you flush your toilet, that water droplets can go up to 6 feet. Now, if I put on a pair of jeans and I pee, I'm still going to pee. But it's going to run down my pant leg and stay at me. It's not going to fly everywhere. It's the same principle. But no obese 74-year-old man is going to have zero complications from COVID. You don't go into the hospital for 2 days with COVID and come out smiling. Yeah. Anna says, mean customers take them off in Walmart. My dad was mad when I told him. Deanna says, I have a hard time wearing them with my asthma. If I start feeling like I can't breathe, then my anxiety kicks in. Dale said, let's just wait and see what happens under Biden's plan. If we can get it under control with what he proposes, then we will know. But at least he has a plan. Yeah, he's going to make wearing masks mandatory. He's going to go to the governors and all that and have them make it a mandate. Dale says, but I wear it when I go out. I do too. I don't really care. I'll wear it when I go to the store. I don't care. They say he didn't have it. Then they say it's no surprise to them he got it due to his rallies. I believe he had it. I don't. Um, but pulled through because of whatever experimental drug they gave him. He said they gave him steroids. They didn't give that boy steroids. He probably had bronchitis. Now you could be right about that, Doc. He said he said they gave him steroids. They give you steroids when you have bronchitis. Snicker says, do I like wearing a mask? No, I don't. But I will to keep myself safe and others. Hell, I wear glasses too. I don't care if people think I'm dumb, but I'm wearing a mask till it's over with. Yeah, if I get it, will be from my job. I'll wear it when I go to the store. I ain't in there that damn long. It's not like I'm living there all daggone day like Anna who works there. You know, I'll wear it. I don't care. Because I know as soon as I get outside, it's coming off. I don't wear that shit in my car or my house or nothing. So what? If I go in, like if I go to a gas station, I go in and pay for gas and get some cigarettes, I'll wear it. I think it's great in the wintertime because I don't want nobody sneezing and coughing on my ass anyway. Barbara says Connecticut has gone back to phase 2 of all restaurants and bars must be closed at 9:30. Citizens have been asked to stay inside from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Katie, bless your heart for working throughout this ordeal. Anna says people sucks, no offense. Yeah. Anna's lucky to have a job she's considered essential. Fran's considered essential. Barbara says, I wear a mask all the time when outside. I don't. I live in senior housing and do not want to bring anything. Oh, okay. I get it. Alright. Dale says, I was bitching about my husband having to work, but I realized that if he didn't, we would not have health insurance or money coming in. Yeah, I wouldn't have my house. Snicker says, my girlfriend, through her work, all the staff gets tested weekly now for COVID. They have cracked down hard and it's working. It scares me so bad knowing she could get this. Anna says, want to call in? Barbara says, thank you for working in these difficult times regardless of what politicians say. Yeah, if you ask me, the essential workers are the ones who should have gotten a hell of a stimulus. Although I have to say, Lowe's have been excellent to their people, even now. They have been excellent to their people who have been working. Barbara says, amen, Les. Dale says, Snicker, I feel for you. It is scary, and I pray daily that they remain safe. I do too. um, but like I said, like Ren, she works at Lowe's, and they've been good to her. They've been good to all their employees. Um, even without the stimulus from the government or whatever, they've been good to their employees. My husband got an increase in pay, kind of hazard pay. Says Dale. Anna says, I got $900. Yay, me. There says, um, Thank you. Thank you, Dale. She works in assisted living. Dale says that is when you know they are a good company. Nick says sorry, thank you. Dale went woohoo. Yeah. Dale says, oh, that is scary, Snicker. Anna says the casino got some. Oh my god, Anna. And you know, I feel sorry for the people that got their stimulus and just blew that shit. And now they have no money. I'm like, man, y'all should have banked that crap. Y'all should have banked it. Mm. And those people with loans and they're getting deferments and shit like that, I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that to my home. I know someone who spent their whole stimulus on a new puppy. Oh no. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. Dale said I got a note on my door that I had a large envelope that needed to be signed for. I went online, requested a redelivery, and signed the sticker and put it back on the door. I also then had an sticker's like, wow, really? And so I paid bills with stimulus. Me too, Shady. Huck says it was like King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. Damn. It was an Amazon order that came in about the same time, and the USPS delivered the Amazon order, but he took my sticker and did not leave the envelope. Oh, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. What was it? What was in the envelope? Barbara says, wow, one of the most expensive dogs. I don't know. French Bulldog can go up to 30-some thousand dollars. And it was from my former employer. Dale went to the post office and picked up the letter. I was so scared. It was a check for underpaying me. Ooh, I bet that came in handy. A check for $8,000 after taxes. It was about $6,000. You do not know how much we needed that. Oh yeah, I can imagine. I got $6,000 straight in the bank. It goes. Dog says $30,000 on a dog caught with respiratory issues. No. Most expensive dog, and I can't even remember what breed it was $32,000 that I saw. Both sides, both Mama and Papa, came from a long champion line and stuff. Dale says, so we stuck it back because we're going to have to pay property taxes soon. Ooh, you should have had that shit put in your mortgage. Dale said, I have had a hard time paying the $350 for a rescue. Barbara said, but it won't, but it won the dog show, Doc. It must be worth, be worthy of that price. Oh. Yeah, you get dogs, when you get a dog that's from champion line, especially if both parents, grandparents, and all that, and you can prove, you will be spending some money. I know when we got Cyrus, our golden retriever, we met the grandparents of him, and they were all champions. Cyrus stood like a champion, but we just wanted him as a pet. And we had to sign a thing, well, my parents did, had to sign a thing that we wouldn't breed him or showing because, you know, I understand they want to protect their line. Dale said, I wish we could, but we don't. We have to pay it separately as far as the mortgage goes. Aw. Dale said, yep, they pay top dollar for those dogs. Dale B says, I have never had a registered dog. Doc said, Ace's dad was a champion dog. Hazel was just a simple standard bred on a farm. Yeah. Cyrus was he was a full blood golden, and he was expensive back then. So I can imagine if we went to the same breeders, and their place was beautiful. Oh God, they spoiled those dogs. That I remember that place. I was young, but I remember that place, and it was beautiful. And the dogs just roamed free. They just roamed free. We got to play with all the puppies. Um, Barbara says, years ago I paid $35 for my cockapoo. Now, because the letters AKC have been attached, the price is ridiculous. Doc says, I always meant to mail Ace and Hazel's AKC forms, but never got around to it. Hazel would never be an AKC because Hazel, first of all, is a mixed breed, and secondly, she didn't come from a champion line. So she didn't come with papers, but she's not going to because she's a mixed breed. You would have to go to the CKC. I would love a French Bulldog, but I don't want to pay $3,000 for one. Oh, honey, if you get the right go to the right breeder of a French Bulldog, you'll be paying 20 grand. They're pretty. Gail said, I would not pay that much. Barbara said, free range dogs. DLB, can a cockapoo have papers? Usually, if they are a mixed breed, they cannot have AKC papers. You would have to go to the CKC. Doc says she did come with papers. They claim she is a full standard, but I honestly see some golden in her. AKCs are forged to hell in recent days, so who knows? Yeah, AKC, you cannot have a breed. AKC is not for mixed breeds. AKC is purebred. Barb says they have a special category for these mixed breeds in AKC. Now, that's what I thought the CKC was for. Oh, I see. I did not know for sure. Oh. I thought your Doc, that your golden doodle, I thought it looked just like a golden retriever, just curly hair. But they got hair. Oh, I thought the CKC was just for people who couldn't maintain AKC standards of the breeding. No. Dale said, I have an issue with people who breed dogs like pocket ones. Make them really small. I think it's bad for them. Yeah. Those standard poodles are so smart. I tell you what, a golden doodle. I wouldn't have one because of their hair. Oh, you'd have to get that thing groomed once a month. Take him in, get him washed, get him scrubbed, get him trimmed. They're breeding new ones called pocket pits. where it's a tiny pit bull. Oh my. Full-bred dogs I've ever owned was a collie. His name was Samson, says Snicker. Then a Siberian Husky. She was a rescue. Her name is Gigi. Miss them both. Aww. Dale said, yes, they are high maintenance. Yeah, they are. Smart. Don't get me wrong, they're smart, but oh, jeez. Their coat alone. And I love to sit down and groom my dogs. Although you take them to the groomer. But I love to sit down and just comb and brush, and all the dogs I've ever had just love it. They just lay back, put their paws in the air, and say, just do me. You know, I won't cut their nails. But Dale said my boxer's no fuss, no muss. He bathes himself. Dale said, and they love being brushed. Yes, they do. They love being brushed and combed. I comb them first and then I slicker them. I do. I don't do their ear hair, and I don't cut their nails. But you take them to the groomer for that and get them trimmed and washed. And we used to wash them, but you just can't get in with that coat. Even with a regular golden retriever with that long hair and that coat, you just can't get in to get that soap out. Sticker says, I cut my dog's nails. It's a hassle, trust me. Oh, I know it's a hassle, but I'm scared death I'm going to hit a vein. Ace and Hazel are fairly high maintenance. I think most owners would benefit from learning to groom them themselves because it does get pretty costly depending on where you go for it. Well, yeah, but it's just like taking care of your kid. I'd rather spend $50 every 6 weeks on my kid and know I'm going to spend that $50 every 6 weeks than have a real kid and you could sit there and they can nickel dime your ass out of $1,000. Dale says, we trim his nails. It scares me because Dale cut them too short and he was bleeding all over the carpet. Yeah, and I don't have the stuff to stop that. Doc says, I don't understand why it's such a fuss for most people to cut the nails. Because you can cut a vein, and they could bleed to death, depending. Dale says, one of my dogs had dark black nails, and it was hard to see the vein thingy. Yeah. Ace's nails are unique, since his coat is, party colored. Some of the nails are black, and some of them are white. I just take it to the groomer. But it just depends on the dog. Now, if I had a short hair dog, I'd probably groom, probably just will bathe it myself. But thick hair, no. I take it to the groomer and say, get the undercoat, cut his nails, do his ears. Hazel's nails are all black, says Doc. Besides, like Casey, he went every 6 weeks, and he loved it. He loved being groomed. He loved being king for the day. That was one spoiled ass dog, and I loved every minute of it. But his was like $35. Dale says, "Be right back." He went every 6 weeks, and his was $35. And he had a beautiful tail and loved his mane. And right there's his vet. So if anything happened, right there's his vet. But I love grooming a dog. I do. Just gotta make sure all the soap's out of the coat if you have a long hair. So that's why, I just might as well take to the vet because they can get the undercoat. and they can trim him, and yeah, things that'll get the soap out of his coat, things like that. So but I was looking at, I really want a mini Pekingese. I really do. They're so small and cute. I just love them. But I'd like to get another dog. I'd love to have fish. I think I might get me a fish tank. My next dog is definitely going to be a lab after Hazel retires. We'll be going through Heartland service dogs for it. Going through the owner training process twice has taken years off of my life. Mary L, hello. So, what do you think will happen if Biden wins? I think there's going to be a shitstorm. I really do. You're going to see a shitstorm of lawsuits, and you're not going to see Trump concede. I don't think there will be riots. I really don't. I don't see riots happening. Because people are starting to get used to the notion that Biden will be, but it's still too close to call. So I can't call it either way. And I didn't vote for either one of them, so, you know. But I do see, this is how I envision January 20th. I envision men pulling Trump out of the office by his legs while he's grabbing onto the door jamb, yelling, "No, no, no." Honestly, I feel so sorry for you Americans. That angry-looking Coma Loompa just ruined everything in just 4 years. Mary, we agree. We really do. I agree 100%. And honestly, I have no idea how the hell he got in there. And I was saying earlier today, I wish I can do a video that everyone in the world could see to say, this isn't how we think. We don't know. We didn't want him in there. He thugged his way in. No. So hopefully, if Biden wins, I think things will go back. I think Biden will try very hard to go back. He'll get us back into the Paris Treaty and everything else, and try to fix and repair relations, and say, look, don't pay attention to that guy. Barbara says, I won the election. They stole it. What will Putin say? No, I am king. That's right, Barbara. That's exactly what Trump will say. Oh, God. I think that Biden has already started to act like he's president. Mary said, Civil War? I think we all know that those hillbillies will cause issues. No, it's not the hillbillies causing issues. And no, the Civil War has already kind of started, they're trying to, but I think that will subside after Biden's in there because there won't be anyone stirring up hate and shit. Biden wants to calm people down and bring everybody together, which I think Biden can do. As far as hillbillies, that's my family you're talking about there. And they're not like that. Um, but from what I've seen on the news, I just see tons of these country people wanting Trump to win. Oh, honey, it's not just country people. No worries in my country. I'm considered a hillbilly too. No, honey, it's not just country people. We're talking people that actually have intelligence who want him in, and why I don't know. I don't know. And I know what you're talking about, country people. I know what you're talking about. They will be out in the streets. Militias will not like Biden winning. I don't. Look, they were trying to have protests anyway, and cops were out there, and people there were people that showed up at a couple of the voting headquarters, the polling counting buildings, and they showed up with guns and stuff, but nobody. It was all peaceful. They just wanted to be heard. You know, I don't think that kind of stuff now, unless Trump fires them up, which that could happen. Trump could fire them up. He's already trying to, but even though he's trying to fire people up, they're not listening to him. They're really not listening to Trump. He is trying to fire people up, and his people are upset because his followers aren't doing anything. And they're upset about it. His followers are like, I think I've had enough. I think everyone had these fantasy romanticizes Trump being on TV, having his hotels, blah blah. He would bring in the money and all this other crap. He didn't do anything. No, he didn't. Mary says, I just don't get this. We all know what happens when riots and shit happens, so why do it? The rest of the world is laughing at America because people managed to get Trump into the White House. It's me, Denny. Hello. Mary, he got into the White House because he lied. Like Snickerdoodle said, um, he projected himself out to be this billionaire who was really successful, who can bring money in, who can unite people, this and that, and he turned out being a dictator. And I know the rest of the world is laughing at us. And I said, Trump doesn't realize the damage he's done to the United States. And some of the people don't realize what he's done. I said, the world is laughing at us. Well, anyone lies to get power, yet people manage to let themselves get brainwashed. Apparently not. Biden is winning, believe it or not. They do it because they can break into stores and get shit for free. Christmas is coming. No, because Biden's like, people that do these riots and shit, he said they should be arrested and prosecuted. He doesn't believe in that either. Although it's not my country, I do believe Biden would be a better option compared to Trump. Biden is a lot better option. Biden is chilled, and Biden knows how to reach across both sides, Democrat and Republican aisle. He's always been able to do that throughout all of his political career. And at least Biden literally has a written plan already in place that is being looked at about a lot of things. So, but Mary, trust me, I know exactly. I know the rest of the world is laughing at us. And we can't believe, at least in this room, can't believe what has been done. I got a question about something else, if you don't mind. Okay. What's your question? That's funny, Barb. Christmas is coming. That's hilarious. Biden will be invited to meet Queen Elizabeth, and he won't try to walk in front of her. Yeah, and Princess Elizabeth won't be laughing behind his back. That was funny as hell. The gun thing. Why do people not want to remove the gun law? The one where people are allowed to own one, and then tons of innocent lives are taken almost every single day. You've got to understand, Mary. I come from a family that we were all raised with guns. I have guns in my home. The hillbillies you're talking about, they had guns because they went hunting. It was the only way they could eat. I believe every household, if they want to have a gun, because it's in their constitution, should be allowed to have a gun. We are allowed to have arms. Now, the people that go on these shooting sprees, it's not like they're using a regular rifle or a pistol. Like, I can go down to Buckeye Outdoors and buy me a pistol or a rifle. A lot of these guns that are being used in killings are illegal and non-traceable. It's not too long ago that I read about a young kid who accidentally shot himself with his parents' gun, and that's his parents' problem. I believe every household should have a gun. And like I said, I was raised with guns, but we were taught to have respect for the guns. And I believe everybody that has a gun or wants a gun should get gun safety training. I totally believe that. People do not need an AK-47 as part of their arsenal, or an AR-15. Mary said, but it's not that hard to obtain a gun, though. Don't matter what gun it is, it's being used to take lives, whether it's intentional or not. Well, like I said, the guns that are used in mass shootings are not legal. So they're being brought into this country and being sold. They're not legal. It's not those of us who have guns, who have respect for guns, and who buy guns legally. It's not us doing it. Snickerdoodle says, I don't have a gun. Doc says, Mary, Chicago, here where I live, is one of the most gun-controlled places in the States, and gun violence here is through the roof every day. Mary says, but by looking at the news and such, America is the only country that almost every week got a mass shooting. Other countries don't, and we don't have shootings like that. Well, it's in our Constitution that we're allowed to have a gun. Try to take mine. And I'm not going out shooting everybody. Guns need to be locked up and ammo stored away from the gun. When I had a 357, it had a trigger lock and was stored in a locked gun case. Exactly. But I can guarantee you this. Somebody breaks into my home and walks down my hallway in the middle of the night, and my grandchildren are here, I'm shooting. Because there's no reason for you to be breaking into my home in the middle of the night and walking down my hallway when my grandbabies are asleep. I will shoot you. But that law, I get that back in the day, it was used for hunting and stuff, but we're in 2020. I doubt people need a gun to get food in their stomach. You want to make a bet? There's people out in the country where they do go hunting to get their meat so they can eat through the wintertime because they can't afford food. So they go and hunt. At the same time, though, will an intruder give you the opportunity to reach your locked cases of guns and ammo? It's because I don't have mine in a locked case. Mine's hidden. And if somebody comes down my hallway, trust me, I can get to that shit quick enough and shoot. Banana cakes. Damn Skippy, my gun's staying right on my hip where it belongs. Banana cakes. That's right, dog. Don't blame you, Les. I don't leave my gun. My grandkids have no idea that I have a gun. They have no idea. First of all, I keep an eye on my kids. I know where they're at. On my grandkids. They're 10, 5, and 4. I know exactly where they're at in this house. Barbara says, I plan to buy a gun because of the shit going down, Doc. If you keep a gun unlocked and someone gets hurt, it's on you. Les is protecting her babies at all costs. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Even though the mass shootings happen mostly with a gun that is illegal, it's still super sad to see young lives or lives in general go lost because people seem to have a need to own a gun. I agree, Mary. Most people do. They don't want to see this. They want nothing to do with it. They don't want anywhere near it. But my gun is right up on the shelf, right there in my closet. I can get to it quickly, and it's ready to go. But I agree, Mary. I don't like to see this mass shooting. I think it's sad. I tear up. And it's a sad situation that people feel that they have to take out innocent lives. I think if it is a household with children, there are extra measures needing to be taken as well as proper education of gun safety. I do. If everyone had the thought of, I need a gun to protect myself or my family, then there is no wonder why everyone keeps arming themselves. If they were gone for everyone, then I think it would be better for everyone. No, you ain't taking my gun from me. Mine stays in my house where it belongs. Put up where it belongs. You can have a special place for your gun. Doesn't have to necessarily be locked completely up, though. As DOC mentioned, who is going to wait for you to unlock and load it? No one. Yeah. Cops arming themselves more because of guns. Then criminals do the same, and eventually everyone got a whole arsenal in their homes. Exactly, with kids in it. It is bound to happen. I feel, Deanna, I feel most buy a gun for protection, not killing someone. Yup. But the gun is used to kill, no matter how you look at it. Well, if they're breaking in my house and coming down my hallway, yeah. I plan on stopping them at all costs. What am I going to do? Somebody break in my house, and what am I going to do? Fix some coffee? Give them some scones? And say, here, let's have a chat? No. I like you, Les. You're definitely a real one. I've always felt this way. I've never, as long as I've been here, I've never felt differently. Some do, but we shouldn't all be judged by just the stories and news you see on the news. But people break into houses in every country, but you don't see me whipping out a gun. But we don't get those escalated situations with guns because we don't own them. Not allowed to. I'm not judging, I'm just saying. Well, they're not coming into my house to take my shit I worked all my life for either. It ain't happening either. You break into my house. You come in my front or my back door. And you walk through my kitchen or my living room. And you start walking down my hallway where my bedrooms are. I'm shooting. And you will be on the floor. Here, let me cut you a slice of bread. Mary, I live in Connecticut where the slaughter of the children in Sandy Hook happened. Made me sick, but that was partially the fault of the parents who took a mentally ill child to learn how to shoot. Also, this was a question. We live in different countries, and by the looks of things, history and present, I just don't get it. Then they showed him where they kept the key. Yeah, that's the parents' fault for showing him all that. Mary, I understand. A lot of countries can't understand it because, first of all, they're not allowed to own a gun. I don't know what country you're from, but I know England is one of the countries that even the cops don't carry guns. Singapore, I know the cops don't carry guns. They carry German Shepherds, which they are awesome. But they and I understand that. I'm 26, never held one and never seen one. I find it disgusting. I'm from Norway. Well, hello to Norway. I like Norway. Barbara said, you all have knife attacks now, Mary. Oh, I have a knife collection too. I'm ready for hand to hand. I have a nice little knife collection. Mary said, we had one mass shooting in Norway in 2011, which I was in the middle of, but that was the only shooting we had since World War II. Yeah, and I can understand you guys aren't allowed to carry guns. I understand that. And it must be really, really odd for someone who lives in a country who's not allowed to carry a weapon. Canada, they're not allowed to carry weapons either. Not even knives. Um, you know, and to look at a country to where all I have to do is go down the street and buy a gun like I was buying groceries. Although you have to fill out a lot of paperwork and everything for it. Mary, if you look at the United Kingdom, where knife, bomb, and acid attacks are more prevalent than gun attacks, I think I'd rather take a shot into myself rather than my face burned off or and blew off. Knife attacks are one thing, but in a group of people and someone is stabbing people, it would be easier to handle that person compared to someone who's shooting. Elizabeth Timmons, hello. Well, nowadays, Mary, you can buy guns that shoot what is called rubber bullets, and they're not out to kill you. Doubt the person with a knife would down as many people compared to someone with a gun. Oh, you want to make a bet? I know a guy with a knife took out 8 people. But you can buy guns that shoot what is called rubber bullets, and they're not meant to kill. They're meant to stop and detain. And it'll sting the hell out of you, but it won't kill you. Cops do use those, and you can buy those. You can also, I don't know if a regular person on the street can buy it, but I know cops also sell bean bags. Um, you know, but if you look at history, how often do these things happen, and then compare that to the shootings that happen in America almost every single day. I don't hear about a mass shooting every single day. Do you guys? Pepper ball guns are useful as well. I'm just going to assume that everyone in America is nuts then for going around and murder people. It so rarely happens here where I'm from. And you would be assuming wrong. I don't go around murdering people. Not mass shooting, but shootings in general, whether it's mass or not. I haven't shot a person in all my life. I've shot targets and animals. We have had people using samurai swords. Can't get near him. Doc said, Mary, there's really not a lot of mass shootings going on. I think it's really a one-dimensional thing from the perspective of the world where the media sensationalizes it as if it happens daily. She's not talking about just mass shootings. She's just talking about a shooting daily. That happens. Deanna says, I've never even held a gun, Mary. So there's, yeah, Deanna's never even held a gun. I've only shot targets and animals. I've never shot a human being, and I own a gun. If I look on the news and see that 10 plus people have died at the hands of a shooter, I see that as an issue. We don't have that very often, mass shooting. There are not shootings every day, it's just the media goes on and on. And most of my family owns a gun. I know gun issue is a big thing for people outside the United States, you guys. Barbara says, I've only done target shooting. I love target shooting. Chicago gun violence is a day-to-day thing, and I'll say it again. We are the most gun-controlled city here in the States compared to, compare these rates to states where the gun laws are more lax. You guys, you have to understand, she's from Norway. They see things differently. Even Canada see things differently than we do. Okay, well, I see that people got their own opinions and I respect that. It was just a question to try to understand why guns are so interesting. I respect your opinion, Mary. I really do. And I can understand how it looks weird. To me, when I first found out that these other countries didn't have guns, like first I found out Canada and then England and all the other countries, to me that was weird. I was like, how can you guys not own a gun? You know? Um so I understand. It's weird for you and it was weird for me at first. But that's just how it goes. You know, we just happen to be a country that we can own guns. I sometimes think the same way if nobody had a gun. But if that was the case, then all the good people that do own a gun would be left defenseless against these bad people who get guns illegally. You know, they get them illegally, and they come after me, and I've done giving up my gun. What do I have? I agree to an extent, Barbara, but their crossfire into people who don't deserve it or cases of mistaken identity are awful. Mary said, that one shooting we had back in 2011, it was a year of sorrow for us. It's left a mark on my body for the rest of my life, and I guess I'm just biased. Well, if you were shot in it, I'd be against guns too. I would be too if I was shot by one. I agree, Mary, and I'm so sorry you got hurt. I am so sorry you got hurt. Anna had to run errands. What's up, man? Nothing. It's how we were brought up. It's normal for us here to have them. We don't really question why. Barbara said the black market would boom by selling them illegally. Anna said, so sorry, Mary. Mary said, if you knew about the case, which I don't know if you do, but on the island where the shooter was at, we were hunted like animals. Ooh. No, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it, but I'm so sorry that you got caught in that. I really am. Which island was he at? Wow, I couldn't even imagine, Mary. So sorry. Thank God you made it out alive. Where did it happen, Mary? It's not too hard to find out about it. It was all done by one guy. That day is forever branded into our history and minds. Tiny island for a youth camp. What? Utoya? Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of free state, the right of the people to keep bear arms shall not be infringed. Toya is called Toya, since we got different letters in our alphabet. I saw a documentary about that. It was political, right? Says Barbara. I'm checking on see if there's any change. There's been no new changes in Georgia. Um, Biden is still ahead in North Carolina, which we knew that. Biden is still ahead in Nevada. Um, Biden got another 1,000 votes in Pennsylvania. Um, Biden has moved up. He's now 41,000 votes ahead in Arizona. So, well, he bombed the prime minister's office and then went to the island to shoot people, which he did. Anna said my friend was at Vegas shooting. Her boyfriend was police. She credits him for saving her life. Doc said, Les, watch what I sent you on Messenger. I can't very well do that while I'm on live. It was because of mixed race and stuff, apparently. I really never wanted to know too much about him. It's too painful. I don't blame you. Because in my eyes, I don't see anything as a good enough reason to kill tons of kids. No, there's no reason to kill a kid. None. Mine shows 264, says Barbara. Biden 214. Where's the 264 from? Because states are calling it when it shouldn't be called. And they couldn't have called Georgia, because that would put Biden at 269. And they couldn't have called Arizona, because that would put that would put Trump at 264, but he hasn't won Arizona. There's still like 100,000 votes still to count in Arizona. Oh, that little girl was so cute. So it's still 253 to 214. Not gonna lie, I've always wanted to visit America. Been a dream of mine since I was a kid, but after 2011, I'm gonna say I've been too scared due to the gun laws. It's pretty safe to travel here, honestly. All in all, it's pretty safe. Just don't go to Portland, Oregon. They just arrested 2 armed men outside the convention center where ballots are being counted. See, I can't hear because I'm on live stream. He wanted to go to Texas, anywhere on the country, to be honest, since I am a country girl born and raised. Aww. Texas is huge. Huge. I'm going to tell you, Les, how would you react if you went to Skull Island and Kong was right there in front of you? I'd crap my pants and faint. Associated Press shows Nevada, Georgia, and Pennsylvania as the only open states. I don't trust that one either, because they're still counting, and there's still quite a few out. Although our version of country would be tiny compared to America's country land. Claire Buick, hello. I can't believe Georgia will go blue. I hope not. Well, Biden's got a slight lead in there. Mary, one thing that we've had when I was growing up, we had exchange students every year. They stayed with us the whole year. And one thing that they've all noticed, because we traveled, and one thing they've all could not believe was how huge the United States truly was. I remember one year we had a girl from Spain. Her name was Ava, and we're still in contact with her to this day. We went down to West Virginia, and when we crossed into West Virginia, it says "Welcome to West Virginia" across the bridge, and she said, "Do we need a passport?" And I remember looking at her and I said, a passport? And Dad said, no, we don't need passports here. And I said, no, we're just going to West Virginia. I said, we're not going out of the country. And this was after driving 3 hours. And she said, we're still in America? Yeah. I said, you can drive 7 days straight and still be in America. She couldn't believe how huge we were. For your papers, please. You wouldn't try to negotiate with them. I'm not negotiating with Kong. I'm going to faint and act like I'm dead. I know America is big, which is another thing. Norway is a tiny spot compared. I think Norway could actually fit in Texas. Or Florida. Or California. It could definitely fit within the United States. I think Norway, Denmark, Finland. It would defo be a change. Yeah. Timo, he was from Finland. And he was one of the first ones because we were really young. After a certain age, mom and dad had to get girls. They wouldn't allow boys. Norway would fit into most countries. And so, Timo, he just couldn't believe everywhere he wanted to go because he had friends here in the United States. He would have to fly, and he couldn't believe he could fly. He could fly 5 hours and still be in the United States. I'm like, yeah. My mom always said it was like winning the lottery if you were born in Norway. Aww. But we are a good country. Tiny, but rich and good. Wouldn't change it for a thing. I wouldn't change Norway for a thing either. Now that I'm an adult, I see why. I wouldn't change Norway either. I like Norway. Can you imagine what traffic would be like if we all had to stop and show papers? It's an hour drive to... Okay, MA, is that... That's not Massachusetts, is it? Shit, I can drive an hour either way. I still wouldn't be out of the state of Ohio. Now, an hour 20 minutes east or an hour 20 minutes west, I would be out of Ohio. But I can drive 3.5 hours south and still be in Ohio. And I can drive 3.5 hours north and still be in Ohio. I think it's an hour to Iowa from where I am. So it is Massachusetts. Okay. United States is huge. But I like Norway. I like where it sits up there. I can drive an hour and a half and I'd be in Sweden. Well, my family tree comes from all that area up in there. That whole Sweden, Norway, all them. I live in central Connecticut, so it's an hour to Massachusetts and an hour to New York for me, says Barbara. I like where I live. It's a quiet little country town. Not much happens. It's like an hour for me just to drive to the shop. Oh, that's about how it was like when I was in West Virginia. You drove 45 minutes either way to get anywhere. It's a good thing I got my license. Yep. And a car. Yep. Hell, where I live, if you don't have a car, you're not getting anywhere. They don't have no public transportation. If you don't have a car, you're not getting anywhere. Or a motorcycle. Makes for a good singing moment. Makes for a good singing moment though. Blast music, singing at the top of my lungs. Hell yeah. Girl, I do that going down the street. Just blast and go. Let's see. Country roads, take me home to the place where I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road. Let's see. No, I was still saying 253, 214. I have a question to everybody in the room. And I would like your honest opinions on things, okay? Now, we're in the middle of this election, and there is one thing that I was wanting to ask the other night. Was it last night or yesterday afternoon? And I want to know your opinion. One of the things that we have not discussed, Les, would you try to man the trebuchets to defend the Great Wall of China from the Tao Tai? No, I wouldn't be there. My luck, my foot would get caught in one of them trebuchets and I'd be the thing flying. Along with the rock. That would be my luck. So, this is what the question I want to ask. And this is something we haven't covered, and I've been curious. And I haven't heard anybody talk about it. And that is, if Biden is elected, we will have, as a vice president, a woman. And not only a woman, who would be the first woman vice president in our history, but a first colored woman as our vice president in American history. What do you guys think about that? Because, you know, Biden, his sundown medicine ain't going to work one day, and she's just going to have to take over. I'd say it's long overdue, says Mary. Love it, says Barbara. I do too. I do too. I'm okay with it, says Elizabeth. I actually love it. And there's two reasons why. First of all, Barbara Schultz, I love Kamala. Oh, I do too. I love her smile. My older granddaughter, Donna, we were talking about it, and she says, I love her smile too. But anyways, I'd love to stay and chat, but I gotta work in 30 minutes. I gotta love the night shift as a nurse. Yup. Well, I hope you come back, Mary. I really do. It was great talking to you. I have a bunch of questions for you, actually. But I hope you have a great night and have a great time at work. And you take care. Doc says, I'm not against the idea, though, of a colored woman being vice president. I just don't happen to be a Kamala fan. Mary says, sure, next time. Bye-bye, stay healthy and safe. You too. Barbara says, KKK is going out of their minds. Well, the one thing that I told Donna, this was at the beginning of the school year last year, way before COVID and she was talking about college. And she's, concerns about growing up, turning 18, growing up, what's she going to do? And I said, first of all, be a strong woman. Be an independent, strong woman. I said, you have your niece who looks up to you, who is my granddaughter. She looks up to you. And I said, your second responsibility, I said, your first responsibility is to be a strong woman and set an example because you were born a woman. Secondly, you were born a colored woman. And I said, you need to show an example for those coming up, in which is, I said, Nina, your niece looks up to you. And I said, you can do or be anything you want. And then here we go, we have a vice president who is not only a woman, but a woman of color. And I just like, oh my God, see? What color? She's black. She's black. Let's remember, no speaky phone. I ain't want Donna laughing at me. Yeah, my grandkids are mixed. Well, Donna's not, but like my grandbabies, Nina, Zaya, and Zach, they're mixed. And so I'm giving her this advice, and then it turns out a year and a half later, well, over a year and a half later, well, no, see, a year later, we have a woman on the ballot who's hopefully destined to be our vice president. I think it's fantastic. It was bound to happen and must make Dump crazy, seeing how much he appreciates a smart woman. He don't appreciate shit. He really doesn't. Man, you should see Georgia's place where they're counting. Oh, you can tell they're almost done. There's 99% of the vote in, and it's like half the room is bare. So, yeah, see, ABC's not calling it yet. They're not calling any state yet. But if Biden does get Georgia, how many does Georgia have? Liz, do they give you a free lunch at jury duty? I don't know. They would never, before I became disabled, they would never pick me because my uncle was a cop. So I went, I want to do my duty, but they would never pick me because my uncle was a cop. That sucks. Because I always wanted to do my duty. And my mom has served 3 times. She's like, they're always picking me. And I was like, Mom, me too. They never picked Dad, and my sister never registered to vote. So, Dump's lawyers were filing a lawsuit because they must wear a mask and stand behind the 6-foot barrier. They're lucky they got to 6 foot because the general rule was 10 feet. And that was just the election rules. But they said if you want to come further, we'll move the barriers up. You have to wear a mask. You can get within 6 feet. I'll have to go give Ma Kane a call and ask about the lunch situation at those things. They do it now differently here. If you're called for jury duty, you're on jury duty for the whole entire week. You don't do it like before. If your case is just a day, then it lasts a day and you're done. Here, you're on jury duty for a week. Doesn't matter. And you only get paid something like $20 a day. See, Georgia is 16 electoral votes, so if Biden takes Georgia, he will only need 1 electoral vote to win. Because Biden only needs 17. Are they doing that via Zoom now? I don't think so, because wouldn't that make sequestering impossible? I think you have to wear a mask while you're in there now. At first they canceled all of them. At first they were just like, we're canceling on, but they resumed, and I think you have to wear a mask. Yeah. No wonder Trump's upset about Georgia. Because then Biden, all he would need is 1 electoral vote. 1. So, I'm going to go ahead and go because it's 3 o'clock. I've been on for a couple hours. Nothing new has happened. So, if anything happens, I'll be on tonight. Until then, I've got to go get something done today. I don't know what, but got to do something. So, if anything happens, I will be on tonight. And I hope everybody, I want to thank everybody, first of all, for coming in and participating. And, excuse me. And I hope everybody has a great day and a great night. And we may be talking later. Who knows? They may call something. You never know. You never know. I probably will be on tonight because, like I said, Trump is supposed to speak and Biden is supposed to speak tonight. So everybody have a great day, great night, and we'll talk later.